So today we're going to be working on a basic hip position, 90-90. So as you can see, that means that the setup is going to be all 90-degree angles. So 90 degrees from my hip, my knee, and even my ankles. So we have a lot of action happening on both hips here. Our front hip is externally rotated, and our back hip is internally rotated. So depending on the way that we position our torso, that's going to determine the focus of rotation and which hip we're working on. So we're going to start on the front leg. I'm going to go ahead and turn my torso to face directly into that shin. So from here, I'm trying to sit with a tall, proud chest. I might find a bit of spinal extension. That's okay. If this is not accessible for you, you're welcome to pull this back leg out of the equation and just really focus on this front leg. But if you can hang here, we're going to get more time under tension. So keep that 90-90. Fingers content on the floor to give you a nice tall chest. And we're going to be working pails and rails from this position. So I'm going to take my left hand to my right kneecap, and we're going to start one round into the hand, one round into the floor. So pails going up, rails going down. We're going to repeat that one more time in each direction, and then drain the tension. So go ahead and create a bit of tension in the rest of the body, and we're going to start to drive knee into the hand, ramping intensity for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're holding here with steady pressure. The hips can handle, so if you've gone to high intensity, that's okay. We should be about 60, 70, 80% effort. So I'm pushing through my hand, but my hand is a brick wall, and we're going to reverse that in 3, 2, and 1. Pull the knee through the floor, match the intensity, so the same effort that you pushed up with, we're now pushing down. If you need a little bit of external feedback, feed that hand underneath the kneecap and push into it. That will help exaggerate the sensation. Reversing in 3, 2, 1. We push back up into that hand. Go a little bit harder if you can. Push, push, push. Everything else stays stable exactly as it was. We have one more reverse in 3, 2, and 1. Same thing, push into that hand. Now a lot of this is isometric effort, so you might not actually go any farther with the knee, but when I push harder, I should feel more sensation, and that's what we're looking for. So we release in 3, 2, and 1. Drain the tension for 4, softening, 3, 2, and 1. We're back to where we started. Should feel like you did some stuff with that hip. And now we're going to turn to frame that back leg. So I like to pitch my fingertips behind me so I can stay tall as I turn toward the back kneecap. So still at all 90 degrees. Again, the regression here, a modification, is going to be pulling this leg out of the way if it's just too much, because a lot is happening. Otherwise, we stay here. And we're going to be working this hip in internal rotation. First things first, think about sitting your butt toward the floor. It's not going to sit down. It's an isometric directional effort, but you should feel more stretch on the inside hip stuff when you do this. Same thing here. We're going to take now same side hand onto that knee. Pails up, rails down, 2 times in a row. So brace yourself, get some tension in the body, and start to push up. Ramping for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We hold here. Match the intensity that you gave on the first hip. Notice where you feel this. It should feel a little bit different. This is different tissue, different rotational capacity of this other hip. And we're not symmetrical, so one hip might feel different from the other. We reverse this effort in 3, 2, 1. Drive the knee down into the floor. Foot is glued. I'm trying to push through the floor. If you had a scale underneath the knee, it's pushing up to 1,000 pounds. Push, push, push. You should feel a lot of stuff happening around here. We're going to reverse one more time in 3, 2, 1. So this is our last round of pails and rails. Match the intensity. Push a little harder if you can. Keep yourself tall with the torso. Notice what you feel. We reverse last time in 3, 2, and 1. Push that knee through the floor. This is your last rails effort. Give it all you've got. We've got 5, 4. Give it a little more. 3, 2, 1. We drain for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing back into that starting position. I let that hip sink to the floor. And now we're going to make our way over to the other side with an isometric movement pathway. So I want to pitch those hands back behind me. I want to open up this angle a little bit, make it less aggressive. Now I'm going to keep my right knee glued to the floor. It's like I have someone sitting on top of that knee. I don't want it going anywhere. And I'm going to start to flatten out the left foot as I lift this leg open. I'm keeping the right knee pushing as hard down into the floor as I can. Push, push, push. I'm going to spread the legs as far as I can. It's like the knees hate each other. We try to keep them as far apart as possible. When I can't go any farther with my lead leg, I'm going to give and take. Give and take until I make my way over to the other side. It should feel like a relief to get out of that position. And now we're doing the exact opposite of what we did on the first side. So same thing, I'm going to turn to frame my front leg, and we're going to go through that same series on both legs. Now we have the left leg externally rotated, right is internal. Make any adjustments if you need to. And same thing, opposite hand to the knee. Get tall, and we start to push up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Remember, important with this work, even though my knee is in contact with my hand, I want to try to feel this happening from my hip. Push, push, push. Holding. It's like you're trying to push your ankle through the floor and your knee through the hand. We reverse in 3, 2, and 1. Get strong. Push through the scale. Remember, scale underneath that knee. Hand can come there if you need it. Pushing down. Everything else is static. Giving it all you've got. Try to lift your knee with that hand and resist yourself. We reverse again in 3, 2, 1. Push up into the top hand. Give it a little more gas if you've got it. Everything else stays stable. Holding here. You should be fighting to stay in this position, right? This is about not just generating intensity, not just generating tension, but sustaining it. We reverse in 3, 2, 1. Push down. Keep the focus. Keep the intensity. Last 3, 2, 1. We drain for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly we rotate over to the back leg. Everything else is the same. Modify if you need, or stay as you are in 90-90. Find your tall, proud position. Same side hand goes to that knee. You should find a stretch in the inside hip stuff if you need to. Sit that butt down first, and now we go. Foot into the floor, we push knee into hand for 4, ramping. 3, 2, 1. We hold, sustain. Notice my knee is a little bit off the ground, that's okay. But we're not actually trying to move through space. We stay isometric here. We're creating tension in different directions in our tissue internally, but without a lot of external motion. Reversing in 3, 2, 1. Drive knee down, push, push, push. Ankle stays glued. You should feel firing happening everywhere. We've got 1 more round each way. We reverse in 3, 2, 1. Cramping a little bit, that's okay. It's just neurological confusion. Push up into that hand. And what that means, hold, is just that our body hasn't done this, or it isn't that used to it, so it doesn't know what's going on. Try to fight through it. We're almost there. Sustain the effort. We reverse 1 last time in 3, 2, 1. Knee goes down, push, push, push. Everything else stays strong. Keep tension in the rest of the body. It's going to help you here. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We drain for 4, 3, softening, 2, and 1. We gotta even it out, so pitch your hands a little farther back. We're gonna open 1 more back to where we started. So we hinge. Remember, left knee is pushing down. Try to flatten out that right foot. Spread the knees as far apart as you can. Max it out. Go up against your end range, and then we give, we take, we give, until we make our way back to where we started. And that is 90-90 in the isometric movement pathway.